Have you ever pondered what it means to fear the Lord and how it connects to wisdom? This question opens up a realm of profound exploration. To fear the Lord is not about being terrified or living in constant dread. Instead, it's about having a profound reverence and respect for God's authority. This fear, or rather awe, is the cornerstone of knowledge. It's about acknowledging our place in the grand scheme of things, understanding that we are not the center of the universe, but rather small, yet significant parts of God's creation. Fearing the Lord also means recognizing His wisdom, the divine wisdom that underpins all existence. It's about aligning our lives with this wisdom, seeking it in every decision we make, and striving to live in accordance with it. This is the path to true knowledge and understanding. But what about those who despise wisdom and discipline? The scripture refers to them as fools. This isn't about intelligence or lack thereof, but about the choice to ignore and reject the wisdom and discipline that comes from fearing the Lord. Fools in this context are those who disregard God's authority, who live as though they are the masters of their own universe, with no need for divine wisdom or guidance. They are the ones who, in their pride and arrogance, reject the fear of the Lord, choosing instead to follow their own desires and ambitions, irrespective of the consequences. The consequences of such ignorance and lack of respect for God's authority can be severe. They can lead to a life of confusion, dissatisfaction, and ultimately, separation from God. It's a path that promises freedom but delivers bondage, a path that seems right but leads to destruction. As we delve deeper into this topic, we ought to remember that wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord. It's about revering God, seeking His wisdom, and living in alignment with His divine plan. This is the beginning of knowledge, the foundation upon which a fulfilling and purposeful life is built. How much value do you place on your parents' teachings? Let's explore this. In our journey through life, we encounter various sources of wisdom and guidance. Often, our first teachers are our parents. Their words, their actions, their life lessons form the foundation upon which we build our understanding of the world. Their teachings are like the first rays of the sun, illuminating the path of life for us. Consider the wisdom encapsulated in verse 8. It advises us not to reject our mother's teaching or ignore our father's instruction. Now, why would such emphasis be placed on parental guidance? Well, think about it like this. Parents are the individuals who have known us the longest. They have our best interests at heart, and they have a wealth of experience to share. They offer us a unique perspective, one that is often grounded in love, care, and a desire for our well-being. But the verse goes beyond just advising us to listen. It presents the teachings of our parents as a garland of grace and an ornament for our life. Now, these are not just decorative items, but symbols of honor, respect, and dignity. They are seen as enhancements, things that add value to us. So when we embrace our parents' teachings, we're not just gaining knowledge or learning lessons. We are adorning our lives with grace and dignity. Parents' teachings are not just about imparting information or skills. They are about character formation, shaping our values, and guiding us through the complexities of life. They provide us with a moral compass, helping us distinguish right from wrong, guiding us towards wisdom and away from folly. So the next time you find yourself recalling a lesson from your parents, remember to value it, reflect on it, apply it. For in doing so, you're not just honoring your parents, but also enriching your own life, adorning it with grace and dignity. Remember, the teachings of our parents often serve as our first encounter with wisdom and discipline. Scene script. Have you ever been enticed by sinful actions? Let's examine the implications. In the hustle and bustle of life, we often encounter situations where we're tempted by wrongdoing. This is vividly depicted in verses 10 through 14. Sinners, in their cunning allure, may entice us with promises of quick gains and easy riches. They might say, "Come along with us. Let's lie in wait for innocent blood. Let's ambush some harmless soul. We will get all sorts of valuable things and fill our houses with plunder." But it's important to remember that these seemingly attractive propositions are nothing but traps. They are snares laid out to lure us away from the path of righteousness and into the abyss of evil. The allure of sinners is a dangerous one, as it often masks the true consequences of our actions. It promises immediate gratification but delivers long-term suffering. In the face of such temptation, wisdom calls us to resist. It nudges us to not give in, to not set our foot on their paths, because these paths, although they may seem lined with gold, only lead to destruction. They rush into evil, swift to shed blood. The importance of resisting these enticements cannot be overstated. It's not just about maintaining our moral integrity, but also about preserving our well-being. The path of sinners, as enticing as it may seem, eventually leads to self-destruction. They lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush only themselves. It's a harrowing depiction, but a necessary reminder. This is not to instill fear, but to impart wisdom. Wisdom that helps us discern the right from the wrong, the good from the bad. The allure of sinners is just that, an allure. It's a mirage that distracts us from the true path, a path that may not promise immediate riches or easy gains, but one that leads to lasting peace and fulfillment. Falling into the trap of sinners often leads to a path of destruction and regret. So let's strive to stay steadfast in our wisdom and resist the allure of sinners. What happens when we rush into evil and shed innocent blood? Now let's delve into the consequences of evil actions, as outlined in verses 16 to 19. These verses paint a vivid picture of the dire outcomes that unfold when we hastily engage in wicked deeds and spill innocent blood. The metaphor of feet rushing into evil serves as a poignant reminder of how quickly we can find ourselves entangled in wrongdoing when we ignore wisdom and discipline. Just as one might carelessly stumble into a trap, so too can we fall into the snare of evil when we let our guards down. Imagine spreading a net in full view of every bird. It's useless, right? The birds would easily avoid the trap. This is an illustrative way of saying that those who plot evil are essentially setting a trap for themselves. The net they spread with ill intentions is visible for all to see, including themselves. Yet, blinded by their greed and malice, they walk into their own trap, demonstrating the futility and self-defeating nature of evil actions. These men, as the verses say, lie in wait for their own blood and ambush only themselves. This is a stark warning of how pursuing ill-gotten gain can lead to one's downfall. The path of those who chase after ill-gotten gain is a perilous one, fraught with dangers, not least of which is the loss of life itself. This isn't simply about physical death. It's about the death of one's moral compass, integrity, and dignity. The life that is taken away is the fulfilling, meaningful life that could have been led if not for the pursuit of ill-gotten gain. So, the consequences of evil actions are self-destruction, loss of dignity, and ultimately, loss of life. These are powerful reminders that the choices we make have significant implications, not just for ourselves, but for those around us too. Remember, the pursuit of ill-gotten gain often leads to self-destruction and loss of life. How can we apply these verses to our lives? Let's ponder upon the wisdom encapsulated in these verses. Their powerful messages hold the potential to guide us through the complexities of life. Firstly, the fear of the Lord is the cornerstone of wisdom. It isn't about trembling in terror, but about acknowledging His supreme authority, knowing that our actions are seen and will be accounted for. This reverence leads us towards a virtuous path, inspiring us to live morally upright lives. Secondly, we've discussed the immense value of our parents' teachings. Their wisdom, born out of love and experience, serves as a guiding light. Their instructions are not meant to confine us, but to protect us, to help us navigate the world with grace and integrity. Like a garland gracing our heads, their teachings adorn our lives with virtue and understanding. Thirdly, we've explored the deceptive allure of sinners. They may entice us with promises of quick riches or easy solutions, but we must resist. Their path, although seemingly appealing, leads to destruction. Their ill-gotten gains are fleeting and are acquired at the cost of their peace and life. Lastly, we've delved into the harsh consequences of evil actions. Those who rush into evil, who are swift to shed blood, they set a trap for themselves. Their actions rebound on them, leading them to their own downfall. In essence, this wisdom invites us to live in reverence of the Lord, to honor our parents' teachings, to resist the allure of sinners, and to understand the repercussions of our actions. It's about making choices that align with virtue, integrity, and empathy. Choices that enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. Let these verses guide you in your journey of wisdom and understanding. Remember, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.